So hello everyone, welcome here to round number 7 of the 2016 NASA RallyCross Challenge season here in Aspen, Colorado for the third and final round of our Colorado journey for this season. As it's Josh Mertz bringing you the call as always for the Automotive Sports Network up in the commentary box at this wonderful circuit here in Aspen, Colorado. As Cody Erdman comes in today's race with a 24-point lead over his teammate Josh Mertz in the Drivers' Championship. But the question here is, can Mertz continue his momentum? He did have that incident last week with Dylan Livengood down in Lakewood, but he is on a roll, his third podium in a row so far this season, and I don't see the momentum stopping for car number 81. Let's take a look at this track layout really quick. Riding on board car number 81, Josh Mertz, fastest in seating, past the grid, don't hit that cone, otherwise you'll get penalized, over the jump to begin your trek up the hill. 125, 130, right at the point, Joker on the left. Slide through the turn, don't hit the cones and don't hit the bank, otherwise it'll throw you off the mountain. Very far to the left, you want to stay nice and smooth on this track, don't hit the snow, don't fall off, braking heavily for the top of the hill. The hairpin, which, like I mentioned earlier, you want to clip that snowbank just right to get the car to turn into a right and a left. Over the bumps, and you start going down the hill. Flat foot, right-hand corner, over the bump, and now you're going to jump back onto the streets of Aspen. Brake hard right before the pavement, get the car to slide, dip the right rear into the snow to get it to turn. Left and right. A little bit more asphalt, clip the snow to get it to turn. Brake hard for the right-hand corner, slide through it. And now the corkscrew's upcoming, 100 miles an hour, jam on the brakes, jump over the bumps, left and a right, slang the car through the left-hand corner, down the pit straight, hard onto the grid straight, slide it wide, don't clip the snow there, and then we are back out onto the start-finish straight to complete a lap here in Aspen. So onto the format here in Aspen, Colorado. It was discussed in the drivers' meeting earlier that they might have an endurance round format, but there is a joker at this track. So Dylan Livengood and Josh Mertz Race Control did decide we are going to run the regular format for today's race. There are going to be 3 quarterfinals, as 11 cars have arrived at the circuit. 3 quarterfinals of 6 laps apiece. You have to take the joker once. The winner will advance to the final. The others move to the 2 semifinals, which are 4 laps apiece. You have to take the joker once. The rest of the drivers will move to the LCQ. So we're going to have 5 drivers in the final already, and the last 3 spots in the final will be down to the LCQ. You have to take 3 laps of the Aspen track, joker once. That will leave 8 drivers to compete for 8 laps around this 1.85 mile duel in the snowy mountains of Aspen, Colorado. Quarterfinal 1 drivers about to get on track here. The first quarterfinal was done and dusted before we even got off the line. As Mertz, Dylan Smith, Tristan Hagenstein, and Casey Lester got off the line, Hagenstein and Mertz were side by side, hit the bump at the start-finish line. Tristan hits Mertz, who hits Dylan, tosses the 22 over, and then that resulted in a red flag, which then on the restart, Mertz was able to pull away and beat his teammate and Casey Lester. The second quarterfinal had a little bit of drama on the start, but it was much like the one earlier on. Jonathan Taylor and Chris Wetz got the jump over Kraus and Doug DeNice. Running up the hill, Jonathan Taylor was able to take the lead and thus was uncontested throughout the 6-lap race. Jonathan Taylor will proceed on to the final. The others will go to the semis. The third quarterfinal was much of the same action as the 3 cars in this race took to the track. It was Dylan Livengood, Cody Erdman, and Victor Valley. There's a little bit of contact early on in this race, but Erdman was able to take the victory ahead of Dylan Livengood as he came together with Victor Valley in the middle point. So joining us in the final so far, Mertz, Taylor, and Erdman. So now we're getting ready for the first semifinal. 4 laps here in Aspen, Colorado. On pole will be Wetz in the 71. Then it's going to be Dylan Smith in the 22, Tristan Hagenstein in the 83, and Doug DeNice in the 10. And this should be a good race, as we haven't seen Dylan Smith all day after that incident in the first quarterfinal. We have 3 fast cars duking it out here for 4 laps, and they do have to take the Joker once. Rev them up, getting ready to go. We are green in Aspen for the semifinal. Off the line, it looks like Wetz will get the jump. Hagenstein had a run, but he got blocked, and now Dylan Smith will take the advantage in car number 22. Side by side, it looked like for a moment Hagenstein wanted to make it, but he did not have the room into the first left-right chicane. Up the hill. Smith a little slow. It had Wetz getting the advantage, but I don't think he'll have the momentum up the hill. To the inside goes the American on the German. Running it wide is Dylan Smith along with Doug DeNice, and this is going to put Wetz through to the lead of the semi. Hagenstein to the inside, trying to make anything happen from the Dutchman to the American. It doesn't look like he can at the moment. Down the hill now, heading back onto the main roads. It looks like Hagenstein will take it to the inside. Got to brake early, remember, for this corner. Sliding it through into the chicane. To the inside goes Hagenstein. Outside now up Wetz. Lead change. Hagenstein in the lead. Wetz in second. To the inside he looked. He didn't have the momentum. Dylan Smith in third. DeNice still fourth into the corkscrew for the first time. Looks like he clipped the berm there, did Hagenstein in the 83. That might open the gap up for Chris Wetz in the 71 down the pit straight. Make the 90 left again onto the grid. Car length and a half between Hagenstein and Wetz to end the first lap. It was a 1:17.7 to a 1:18.5. Hagenstein is faster than Wetz. No jokers from the top 2 yet. You have to be really careful from hitting. If you hit that berm on the inside where the serious billboard is, you will fall off the mountain. And we saw in practice, almost, we had drivers falling into the mountains. As Hagenstein ran it a little bit wide, Wetz got a little bit more bite out of that Mitsubishi. Little slower from the 83 to the 71, trying to back him up a little bit. Down the hill once again, and back onto the main roads. Can Wetz take the fight? Looks like he's braking a little bit earlier than Hagenstein is for this corner. And he's there. The gap has been eaten up by Wetz to Hagenstein. And back into the mountains for the short bit. Around the long left and into the corkscrew. The gap has opened up again. It looks like Wetz doesn't get very good grip in that Mitsubishi. It's been discussed for several seasons now that the Mitsubishi either has a lot of grip or it doesn't. And it's really puzzling. As I think it is a longer wheelbase car, so that might cause most of that problem. Halfway home in the semifinal. Remember, this winner of this race will join the other 3 in the final automatically and also get 1 bonus point. Wetz jokers. The first strategy unravels. It looks like he's going to have that momentum, and he does. Swoop past Hagenstein in the 83. 1:18.717 to a 1:18.3. He was 4/10 slower than the 83, and that joker really doesn't matter anymore. As holding up Hagenstein, it looks like he's trying to back him up, but Hagenstein has the joker in his pocket. So all Hagenstein has to do is keep within distance of the 71, and I think he's got it. Sliding through the corners there, and back onto the asphalt. Wetz trying to open up the gap. He knows he does not have a joker left, and he knows Hagenstein does, so that merge is going to be tricky. As it looks like Dylan Smith has parked his car, and Doug DeNice is in third in the Subaru. So another issue with the Mitsubishi with Dylan Smith, and it doesn't look like he will be able to make it to the final. To the LCQ he will go. White flag for the American from Texas, Chris Wetz. In the 71. To the joker will go Hagenstein, and this should put him back through to the lead. The merge is going to be tricky. It looks like he barely had the delta between him and Wetz. The momentum does give you the opportunity to swoop past the outside. Locks it up in the 83. It's not all done yet. And Wetz takes the fight once again through the hairpin and the first chicane. Side by side are Wetz and Hagenstein. Hagenstein prevails. Down the hill for half a lap left in Aspen. Can Wetz win this semi, or is Hagenstein going to Who knows? Way off the road is Wetz. Looks like he's going to give some time up. Through the chicane. Back onto the mountain for a short moment. It's a car length and a half from Hagenstein to Wetz, and this is getting good into the corkscrew. Running it wide as Hagenstein, he hits the berm, and Wetz will take it to the outside. Nearly, they do make contact, and this is getting good. Down the pit straight, one last corner. Can Wetz make it happen? It doesn't look like he will. Off the grid, side by side onto the snow, and back to the start-finish line. Hagenstein will make it through to the final, and Wetz will have to take it to the LCQ. As getting ready to see who will be the fifth driver into our final. It's going to be Dylan Livengood on pole. I believe Casey Lester in the second grid spot, Victor Valley, and Philip Kraus. So these four will go for another 4 laps to see who will make it through and who does not have to run that last chance qualifier. As veterans of the series will tell you, the LCQ is not the place that you want to be. It is not a fun time if you have to race in that event. As I believe we are waiting for Lester in the 50 to arrive to the grid. There he is. 2 Mitsubishis and 2 Volkswagens getting set and ready to go for the second semifinal, semifinal B here in Aspen. Grid is Livengood, Lester, Valley, and Kraus. Revolution, Lester, and H&H Volkswagens. 4 laps, Joker once, revving them up and getting ready to go here in Aspen, Colorado. Off the line, we are green. It's going to be Livengood and Valley side by side. Whole shot goes to Valley at the start-finish line, the American from Indiana. Side by side, he was all over the track. Livengood will take the advantage into the first corner. Valley second, third Lester, fourth Kraus, biding his time. Around the berm and up the hill, Livengood, 4-time world champion and 13-time race winner, trying to get the mojo back, running it way wide in car number 51 into the bank, and that's going to put Valley through to the lead. Cutting the nose off was Livengood from Lester. Kraus still fourth. Lester runs it wide. Kraus to third. Valley looks like he hit the berm in car number 155. Livengood tries to take the fight in car number 51. Through the chicane, Livengood back to the point. It's going to put Kraus battling with his teammate here as Livengood trying to set sail. Hitting the bank there was Valley in the 155 into the corkscrew now. Livengood leads us. Then it's Valley. Then it's Kraus. Kraus passes his teammate for second, and he's got his eyes set on transferring through to the final. At the end of the first lap, Livengood leads. As Kraus second, third is Valley, and fourth is Wetz. To the Joker goes Valley, and this will begin the strategies to see who will go where. You get so much more momentum when you exit the Joker there. And Livengood, about a 2 to 3 car length lead. Valley spins it. Contact with Lester. That was a silly mistake from Victor Valley to back up in active traffic, but that's not the first time that's been done this season, and he has been warned by race control. Lester looks like something might be broken because of that contact as he was sliding all over the track. Back to the sharp end. 1:19.278 was Kraus's fastest lap. Livengood's was a 1:18.348. So a second disparity between these guys, but Kraus is all there. Into the corkscrew. Kraus, what? A maneuver, contact between them, as I couldn't get the words out fast enough, and I think Kraus's car is dead in the water. Livengood is done as well, and I don't think this will be a red flag. As I think it is. Red flag being called. Wow. And Livengood can't get his damage fixed. I don't think the crews are allowed to work on it. We're going to see here. He stops in his pits. He can't find his pit stall. I don't think he can see. The smoke was billowing out of the 51, and they're not going to let him back up. Wow. This is going to be a full race restart, and I don't think Livingood's going to have a chance. So let's take a look here from the helicopter camera. We're going to notice Kraus just sends it, hits the bank, hits Livingood, and flips over both of them. It tosses Livingood's car into the air, and that will send Kraus, Livingood, and Casey Lester to the LCQ, as Livingood's car was unable to continue and Valley was able to pull away from Lester. So Dylan Smith did have that technical failure and he will be unable to participate. So that explains the open grid spot in front of Livingood. Pole for the LCQ is Wetz, then Dylan Smith, then Doug DeNice, Philip Kraus, Dylan Livingood, and Casey Lester back row. 3 laps, Joker once, here in Aspen, Colorado. Getting ready to go. The top 3 will transfer through. Getting ready to go. It's lights out, and away we go. And off the line, Wetz will get the jump off the grid. Kraus gets pushed wide by DeNice to begin the first lap. It's Revolution Racing 1 and 2. And we haven't said that in a long while. As Livingood in second. Lester third. Looks like Kraus is in the 5th spot. So not a good day for the Canadian, as it looked like he did have the pace a couple moments ago, but after that interesting wreck between him and Livingood, took them both out of the running in the semifinal. Wetz hits the bank there, and Lester trying to take the fight to the 4-time champion. As battling was Kraus with DeNice, and Lester off the road. DeNice is off the road, getting very tricky in the LCQ here. Back up to the sharp end. It's Wetz, with Livingood. As remember, the top 3 transfers, so right now, Lester is in a transfer spot in the 50. Running it wide goes Lester. And this is going to open the door up for Kraus in the 19. As Wetz runs it wide in the 71. Teammates battling for the lead. Kraus gets through for the transfer spot. 2 to go in Aspen in the LCQ. And this will put Livingood to second. He'll take the Joker. Let's see what this does to the running order. Position change 51-71. To the Joker goes DeNice. Now, will Wetz be able to take the fight to Livingood and get this lead back? He has not taken the Joker yet. As Kraus still holds the 3rd spot over DeNice, who is in 4th. Lester is in 5th. Currently leading the privateer standings is DeNice. That's the battle for that championship. It's DeNice and Lester. So they'll have a nice little battle there. We're coming to the white flag here in Aspen. And I did not hear what happened to Dylan Smith's car. Around is Livingood in the 51. Wetz almost did the same thing, so this is going to get interesting for the LCQ transfer spots. Yes, they're all in transfer spots, but this will get good for a better starting spot. White flag for Wetz. This put Kraus to second, Livingood third. On the outside looking in is DeNice and Lester. Wetz does have to take to the Joker. So does Kraus. Livingood cannot. He took it earlier. So they're going to have the higher momentum into the final corner to see what they can do. Wetz currently leading. And can Kraus take this victory in the underpowered Volkswagen? They were at the top of the hill. Now they wind their way down the hill, out of the mountains, and back onto Main Street of Aspen, Colorado. Kraus with a bigger run off the hill and into the asphalt. Into the left-right chicane. Kraus hits the bank. And it looks like that's going to seal the LCQ victory for Wets. But we do have the corkscrew left, and Kraus does like to become a torpedo. Behind him is Livingood. Will Livingood retaliate on the 19, or is he not going to worry because they're in the final? Doesn't look like Livingood's going to do that. On the pit straight for the final time. Onto the grid straight for the final time. And back onto the snow. It's going to be Wets winning the LCQ. Transferring normally would be Kraus, but is an 8-car final, so Livingood makes it as well. And winning in the Privateer Championship today is Doug DeNice, who gets 9th place points overall. And Casey Lester looks like an engine failure on car number 50 or contact will finish in the 10th spot, and Dylan Smith will finish 11th after the technical failure rendered him unable to compete today. So as they make their way to the grid for the Aspen Grand Prix, Mertz is on pole, then it's Jonathan Taylor. Chris Wetz on the outside pole, and it'll put Erdman between Taylor and Wetz. Back row is Hagenstein, Valley, Kraus, and Livingood. 3 MRT cars, 2 Revolution cars, 2 H&H Volkswagens, and an Area 52 Ford. All constructor cars getting ready for 8 laps, and 2 Jokers here in Aspen. Launch controls are getting set. Looks like everyone laying down rubber for the start. Glad you could join us here on the Automotive Sports Network. Getting ready to go for round number 7 of this 2016 A Championship. Final preparations being set before we launch these rally cars onto the snow-packed trails and the slippery roads of Aspen. Revving them up. Getting ready to go for round number 7. It is lights out, and away we go, and off the line, side by side of the MRT teammates. Hagenstein behind Mertz. At the whole shot, it's Mertz. Erdman looks like Hagenstein in 3rd. 81, 82, 83. Then it's looks like Livingood. Hagenstein takes to the Joker. To the outside he goes with the momentum on his teammates, so it's going to put Hagenstein through to the lead in the 83. Hard braking. Erdman slides it wide. So does Hagenstein, and put Erdman back into the field. So it looks like Jonathan Taylor's in 3rd, side by side of the MRT teammates for the race lead. Livingood 4th, Erdman 5th. So put the championship leader several spots back. Hagenstein and Mertz battling for the race lead. So the Dutchman versus the German versus the American Jonathan Taylor, who has had several starts this season. Then we'll have the Revolution teammates, it looks like, battling for 5th and 6th. 7th is Kraus. It looks like 8th was Valley, but it looks like he pulled off. He retired. So something went wrong on that Volkswagen, and it results in Valley finishing the 8th spot. This teammate battle is getting good between Hagenstein and Mertz. Mertz is yet to Joker. Hagenstein already has. And it looks like he's just going to follow his teammate. Erdman back to 3rd. So it's an MRT podium sweep currently. Wetz 4th. Kraus 5th. Livingood in 6th. And Jonathan Taylor looks like blown tire on the 7. So contact was made. It looks like hearing reports for the pit road wall and the 7 car. And it looks as though that car number 7 will not be able to participate the rest of this race. That puts him in 7th, Valley 8th. 6 cars left, and this race is beginning to form an attrition pattern as the MRT cars 1, 2, and 3. It looks like it's Wetz, Kraus, Livingood, the running order. Through the corkscrew for the 2nd time. 1:16.326 was Hagenstein's latest lap. A 1:16.9 was Mertz's fastest lap. So 0.6 of a second difference between the Dutchman to the German. Beginning lap number 3. 1:16.2 to a 1:16.4, and I don't think there was any jokers, and there's nothing between these guys over 1.85 miles. To the Joker for the first time goes Mertz. And will he take the fight to his teammate? Yes, position swap, 81 to the lead. Erdman still 3rd. Wetz 4th. Kraus 5th. And I think the 51 has lost a gear. So we have 5 cars left in this race, essentially. As it looks as though that Livengood has lost a gear. Mertz sideways in car number 81, trying to take the fight to his teammate. We're going to go on board the rear of car number 81. And you can see the 83 in his mirror, getting ever so close. Very good run through the corkscrew by Tristan Hagenstein. To the inside, it looks like he bit the snowbank a little bit more than Mertz did. As we're going to come to beginning halfway. Erdman biting his time in third. It doesn't look like he's jokered yet. Wett's fourth, Kraus fifth, and I think Livengood has blown a gear in the 51. So we're going to wait for Erdman here. Erdman has not jokered in the 82. So the championship leader has the jokers in his pocket, and he's waiting for his teammates to mess up. As we are on lap number 4 here in Aspen, coming to crossed flags this time. Mertz backing his teammate up, but he doesn't know that his teammate, his other teammate, has not taken the joker yet. So 115.681 to a 114.268. Mertz is sideways, and into the wall goes the 81, and it looks like this might unravel the race for him. Contact nearly between him and Erdman, and this puts Hagenstein through to the lead. So the Dutchman, who has never won a race in 5 years of competition, looks like he might have his first victory. We are now coming to halfway for Tristan Hagenstein. As Mertz is put back to third, you have to wonder about the engine damage on that 81 as we begin lap number 5. 116.194 to a 115.4, and Mertz ran a 120.2. No joker yet from Erdman. The strategy hasn't unraveled yet, and this is fascinating between Erdman and Hagenstein, as all 3 have at least 1 joker left. Erdman still has 2, at least 1 in his pocket. I'm not sure if he's taken his first one yet, but I don't think he has. Hagenstein leads. It's still an MRT 1-2-3. Wett's trying to take the fight to Mertz, but I don't think the Mitsubishis have the pace today. Looks like Kraus is in the 4th spot, or the 5th spot, excuse me, and Livengood struggling in the 51. So the battle for the lead is getting ever so close between the MRT teammates. And it's not the teammates that you would expect. Erdman, issues in the corkscrew. That's going to put Mertz closer to him, and this is becoming fascinating between the Austrian squad. Coming to begin lap number 6. Hagenstein is pulling away, and now it's going to be Erdman and Mertz battling for the 2nd spot. 116.2 to 114.7. Hagenstein was a 115.7. Who will joker now? No jokers for the other 2 teammates, as Hagenstein hasn't jokered either. We are coming to 2 laps to go this time, and this battle is getting fascinating. As these 3 have been class of the field all season long, except for Germany, when Wettz was able to sneak that victory away. And Erdman is still kicking himself, as the perfect season for MRT went down the drain after the 2nd week. Erdman pushing hard. Mertz is pushing hard, dipping the right sides onto the snow to get the car to turn. And this is going to put Hagenstein coming to 2 laps to go, holding the lead. Holding strong is the Dutchman in the 83. He came close in Canada a couple weeks ago, but contact with him and Tanner Smith took him out of the running. And one of the more successful drivers without a race victory is going to have 2 laps to hold off his teammates to try and get this victory. As it's Hagenstein, Erdman, Mertz, Wettz, Kraus, Livengood, Taylor, and Valley, your running order in Colorado. Jokering now is Erdman, and I think that was his first one. So he's going to get close to the 83, and he's going to take the lead. So this will put Erdman through to the lead. He's got 1 joker left all three have a joker left, and I think Wetz does as well, so this is going to be a huge spoiler if Wetz can pull this off. So now a couple of car lengths from Erdman to Hagenstein. Hagenstein might be rattled. Yes, he didn't do anything of his own doing, but he might be rattled because Erdman now has the lead, and he might have been comfortable out front. Erdman slow through the chicane and put Hagenstein back through the lead. And now Mertz is joining this battle. So the MRT boys getting really enticing here coming to the white flag. Erdman bit the snow and now into the corkscrew for the penultimate time. And you know if one of these guys mess up, Wetz is going to take the advantage. Hagenstein runs it a little bit wide on the pit straightaway. It's going to put Erdman trying to take the lead. Mertz is getting closer, and the white flag and 1.85 miles of this circuit is left to see who'll win. White flag in Aspen. It's Erdman, Hagenstein, Mertz, and Wetz battling for the win. To the Joker goes all three teammates, and Wetz follows them as well. So this is absolutely fascinating coming to the checkered flag. Up the hill for the final time. Hagenstein smells blood. You know he wants a race victory. And up the hill in the hairpin for the final time. Erdman runs it wide. Hagenstein can't take the fight. Through the chicane, it looks like Erdman contact between them. And Hagenstein has to go to the penalty box. And this is going to put Mertz through to the lead, as Erdman is stuck on the embankment. Hagenstein slow, Mertz trying to get by him, sliding is the 81, nearly contact as Wetz hits the wall, nearly contact between the 81 and 71. Take Wetz out of the equation. Hearing in my headset, Mertz is telling Hagenstein, go, 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 because you can still win this race. And Hagenstein trying, he hits the embankment, over is the 83, and that's going to put Mertz through to the lead. What a change of developments, what a race here in Aspen, Colorado. Onto the grid for the final time. Mertz is going to win after paling himself onto the wall here in Aspen. What a race, Wetz is second. And Kraus in all of this is going to finish third, so the Canadian will get his first podium spot. Hagenstein looks like he's going to come home to finish fourth. What could have been for the Dutchman. Fifth place will be Erdman, it looks like. In sixth place will be Dylan Livengood. And Mertz burns it down here in Aspen. Win number 19 for the German today, as he takes the fight to his teammate. Results today from Aspen. Mertz wins after that incredible battle with his teammates. Wetz will finish in second. Third place is Philip Kraus for the H&H Volkswagen team. Fourth place is Hagenstein. Fifth is Erdman. Sixth is Livengood. Seventh is Taylor, who did not finish. Eighth is Valley, who did not finish. Ninth is Denice, winning privateer. 10th is Lester. And 11th, Dylan Smith, after that technical failure on that Revolution Racing Mitsubishi. Points going into Bent Twig. It's a 16-point swing. Erdman still leads over 16 points, I should say, over Mertz and Carnberry 1. Wetz third with 189. Hagenstein fourth with 176. Erdman, Livengood, fifth with 138. What a race here in Aspen. And it's going to get even better north of the border in Bent Twig next week. Congratulations to Mertz on his 19th career victory here in NASA RallyCross. We'll see you next week in Bent Twig, but until then, so long, everyone.